I would give you some tips and tricks to help identify whether a journal article or a journal where you find an article is peer reviewed. So this one is a little tricky. Normally, you can either just click right on the journal title. So this is the title of the article here, but the journal title is artificial intelligence. So the journal's the publication, and that's how you tell the difference. So you can click on this, and it's not entirely clear right off the top whether or not this journal is peer reviewed. Normally, they do like to brag a little bit, just because it's a point of distinction, just to show right on your main page, or you can Google it. But when I Googled it, this is artificial intelligence journal peer reviewed. It wasn't entirely clear because there was some confusion as to the title. There are a couple of different similar titles that came up before that. So I ran into some trouble doing it that way, but upon further investigation, it does appear that this particular issue is peer reviewed. It's usually not this hard. I'll show you another example, but it's not this hard to find out. So that's one thing that will determine credibility in an article. Another thing that you can check is how many times the article was cited. So this particular article was cited 76 times. Sorry, this is in the way, but basically it's covering up the 76 there. That's a fair amount. I would be concerned if it was only cited, a handful of times since it was published in 2011, but 76 is quite a bit. So that lends some credibility there. And then the next thing you can do is check on the authors. So you can see that this person is he's an assistant philosophy professor at California Polytechnic State University. So that's, someone who is working in the academic world at a fairly reputable university. And here we have the same thing. Actually, this person's a lecturer, so that's not quite a professor, but in any case, still in the academic world. And here we have Professor Emeritus, so that's pretty distinguished. So I would say, based on those factors, this is a fairly reputable paper in a fairly reputable journal. One thing that is a cause for slight concern, if you're choosing this article in one of your papers, especially the fact that it's about robots and AI, which is a pretty timely subject, you want to make sure that you're using recent material. So this was published in 2011, as you can see, and that's a little bit old. I included it as an interesting read for this course because it doesn't really matter. It's not like you're citing it in a paper where you're referencing back to it. I just wanted you folks to read it. But if I was choosing this for a paper, I'd maybe try to find something a little bit more recent, maybe within the last 5 years, just because things change really quickly in this field, and you want to make sure that you're using the most up-to-date information that you can find.